Hi.
God,
So it's nice to see you again. How have you been lately?
I've been good. I'm just doing the thing, trying to stay productive and positive and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, the last time I saw you in person was at the Open Air Festival that was 2 years ago, and I can't believe, things have changed so much that we didn't even have an open air this year, and hopefully
Yeah.
you will come back to open air with some of your new good stuff.
Oh, I will for sure. I mean, I feel like I probably speak for thousands and thousands of musicians when I say, I'll be out there as soon as we can get out there.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be different for a while, but that's the I feel um, in a weird way, I feel very inspired, in this whole situation. I feel lucky to be an artist in these times because it's like, I feel like some people have said they don't feel inspired, but I feel like what's more inspiring than the most collective experience of all time?
We live in crazy times. There are a lot of bad things happening right now. We have had the George Floyd situation. We're having some problems in Poland as well. We're having the pandemic situation. A lot of really bad things are going on. So, people stop being those hamsters and whirlwinds and so on, and, stopped and started to think. But, in a way that can be sort of depressing, but you're saying it's sort of fueling you. So that's, I would
Yeah,
say,
and
wow.
it's time to kind of, for a change, get out of our own lives for a second and realize there's so many things at stake here. As we're moving forward from this, not least of which is just the equality of people and the quality of life for a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
I think it's and the planet, trying to address issues that we don't think about sometimes because we're just so wrapped up in our lives.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And you have been really productive, as you said yourself. And your single is out right now, the one that you love. And congratulations on that single. It's a really great song, and it talks about love and that passion and everything. And I feel like this is a subject that you can go on singing about it, and it never ends. I mean, it's fueling artists, constantly.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think to me, it doesn't ever end. I think that like whether your relationship is healthy or not,
Yeah.
you know, constantly rising. I mean, call anyone right now who's been home with their significant other,
Yeah.
or been home single, and it's such a constant challenge
Yeah.
either way. And I think that we are, um, even though it's like yes, relationship songs, but romantic relationships, I think, really shine a light on ourselves. It's a mirror, and we get to like look at
Yeah.
ourselves. So I think I can always relate to that, and I hope other people can. So and I think they can tell that I'm not. It's authentic. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I definitely can't sing about something that I don't feel.
Yeah. And do you feel that an artist has to be necessarily sad in a way to, to produce something that is so powerful and, that people can relate to?
Sometimes I do, but I'm also, for me, I can't really process things when I'm really in the thick of it sometimes, like it doesn't work that way for me, Sometimes I'll like, practically skip into the studio smiling and write the saddest song I've ever written in
Yeah, that's
my
weird,
life.
right?
Or, like I'm really sad and I write a happy song. I never know how it's gonna pop out. That's why I just like kind of keep collecting things and, I feel like I'm always like collecting thoughts and lyrics and chords and melodies that I kind of can use at a later
Yeah.
date. It's almost like how I mean, think about an actor that plays a role like a very sad part. I mean, they're in that part when they're playing it, and then then they're not. So it's like you kind of draw on your unique experience.
But on the other hand, it's like, actors have a role to play. And then, like, artists such as yourself write things that are autobiographical. And, you put your heart out and you put yourself out there. And it's like a diary. People know a lot about
Yeah.
you. But is there anything that you would never write about because you wouldn't want people to know about it?
um, you know,
Spill some tea.
Yeah, I'm pretty much, I don't, um, I'm always searching deeper for things. My biggest fear would be that I couldn't see something I needed to talk about deep enough in myself. I mean, that's why, like, you try to go to therapy, you try to, kind of examine yourself. And I also feel like sometimes, even, when I talk about like writing a lot of songs, I feel like, um, my drive to like keep writing songs is because what I've discovered for myself is that when I write, um, like songs are like stepping stones sometimes, and they're stepping stones to me becoming better at expressing myself.
I wonder what else is going to happen on your album, because there's a lot going on right now. You released the Live in Moscow album, and you have your single out, and I know that your album, your studio album, is going to be out like next year. So can you say something more about the album? What's going to happen there?
I feel like there's a lot of cool subjects on it. It's been really fun to make because I just feel like God bless you.
Wow, that was my boyfriend. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna just include it in the interview. There are more people in the room. Yeah.
I feel like this record is like another bunch of songs that are kind of like difficult to put into a genre.
Yeah. Well, you were always hard to label, I think.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think it's like, thank you. I take that as a huge compliment, and
it definitely is.
I think because of my writer background, I think that was a big, if you would ask me what was one of the harder things, forget about the way I look, which that's difficult. But forget about that. I'm saying it was more about like how eclectic my songwriting is. Yeah. When you're trying to make a mark as an artist, an individual artist, it's like you need that specific thing, and I feel like, when Lost on You hit, that was the perfect song to kind of hit the mass market, because it was like, it has all the elements of what I do and how I am. So, it's like a lot of, work before there to get there. But I think that was a hard thing to get myself through, was that I'm just like, I have a lot of different layers as far as how I sing, what I write about. But
are you a person that holds grudges?
I can, but they wear off after a while. But in the beginning, it's like if I'm annoyed or like I can make you disappear.
Oh no, that's a cool feature. I mean, that's magic. That's superpowers.
And then I'm like, oh, I feel bad. Okay, I forgive you.
Well, what I'm asking is that because your whole career, your path, your road wasn't easy. There were a lot of things going on, a lot of changing points and so on. And have you ever felt like someone was deliberately hurting you in a way, or trying to stop you from pursuing your dreams?
I prefer to not think of it as they were deliberately doing it. My thing is that when I was dropped from my major label, everyone knows the story. I think that after I played in Lost on You.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, like when that happened, I think I was like, okay, but I remember thinking like, I didn't know what to do. Like it was a few months, and then I signed this other label, like a very small label, and just thought it was like, okay, I'm gonna keep writing songs for other people, have that be my main thing, and I'll release songs on the side, and then and then everything took off,
Yeah.
But I thought I still think about the people that I know and the people that I don't know, that like that might have been it for them, and then they just like and they never even knew that they had like this other life waiting for them, like like maybe they could be dropped for like, or their career is stalled with a hit song that they wrote, and it's just like, it's mind blowing. And so I don't hold grudges like that. I just wish, I feel compelled though to tell my story, as much as I can in a way so that it encourages other people to see that, like, just because somebody that you don't even know what their credentials are as far as tells you, that's not good.
But don't you think that sometimes, everything happens for a reason, and that maybe something wasn't meant to be at that specific, point?
I do.
Yeah.
I do, and that's the thing. So I always, that's why I don't hold grudges and I don't look back like that, because I'm like, that, because, getting dropped from that major label at that time changed my life, because
Yeah.
then the song was able to get through, like, something dies, something grows.
With you and your career, you've been assigned to indie labels, you've been a writer, you had a hit record, you did like everything. You were everywhere in every place, I believe, in this music industry. So what were your worst moments when you thought to yourself that maybe this is it, that you're not going to do anything else, and somehow it changed later on?
That happened several times. I mean, I had um, even when I like had my first two major label deals as an artist, and then that ended, and then I became a writer for 2 years, and I don't know, I didn't look back, like I just kept going, and that's what I think is cool. That's what I mean about like talking about records, in artist careers that didn't have hits or whatever. It's just like they kept putting records out. That's the point, That's a point in life. It's like, like you have things happen to you, bad things happen, good things happen, and you just keep going. And then when you look back in your life and you say, like, I mean, one of the greatest things we're talking about is perspective. Like, having the perspective of like how easily certain things could not happen, and that's what's like, and so you get to, it's like almost like some kind of level of being Buddhist, where you don't celebrate the bad or the good. I prefer to celebrate the good and try not to celebrate the bad, or not celebrate the bad, but I feel like there's this level of like, when you look back, it's like all you can see is like that you kept going and you kept working and you kept trying to, do the right thing according to you.
And what did your family say when you decided to, pursue a musical career and you wanted to enter that industry, having in mind that they weren't really supportive of that idea? They had a different idea of a good job?
Well, my mom was passed away, but she would have been very supportive. My dad, I think, was like very suspect, at first, and my extended family was just like, okay, sure. And then, when things started, I think, one of the markers, I think, somewhat in like success here in this country is like being on like a late night talk show, like, around him, David Letterman and Jimmy Fallon, stuff like that. So when I was on those, then it was like, I think that people were like, okay, all right, yes, she's a singer, yeah. So I don't know, I think I'm always like that too. I think, people just see, they want proof. So, and it's a very difficult thing to prove yourself in entertainment. I mean, because there's no way to lie about it. It's either happening or, I mean, there's like, there's levels. I still have people that, there's people yet to discover me and they have no idea who I am, and it's cool, and then they could go like, oh, I didn't even notice,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is true. You're totally right about it. But I also wonder, about like what you still dream of, what you want to do, and is there anything that never happened in your life before and you still want to do it?
Gosh, I mean, that's a good question. Oddly, I think I'm pretty much just concerned with a body of work. I'd like to leave behind a really big body of work, and like heroes of mine that I love, like David Bowie and like Leonard Cohen. I'm always using those guys as an example, but I feel like both of them put out records that I thought were just as good, equal to some of their best early work. And right before they died, so I feel like that's, just becoming better like that. I don't really have, like, I have interests obviously, but it's more like just being a better person, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have like, I have enough, of pretty much everything.
Yeah. Well, it was really nice talking to you, and I hope to see you soon in Poland, and can't wait for the album to come out. And it was a really big blast to talk to you.
So what's next for you?
What's next for me? Well, I have a couple of ideas. Hopefully do more interviews and, be really into music and, promote some artists that are not necessarily well known in Poland as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite new artist in Poland? Do you have one?
New artists? No, I think there are a couple of artists that are actually have been for a while, or they're just trying to make it right now. There's this girl, she's called Rosalie, and she is amazing. She does this sort of R&B old school thing combined with electronic music. She's good.
Oh, good?
She's good. She's really good.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. Rosalie. Yeah, Rosalie. Like in English, Rosalie with a dot at the end.
Oh, right on. Cool.
She's really good.
Actually, yeah.
Cool.
Well, it's so lovely talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.